It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
We have started the big countdown, and the hour is almost here. But before we celebrate at midnight, we welcome you to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. This is very exciting.
Yes.
Tonight, it'll be the Chicago Bulls up against the Portland Trail Blazers. Taking a look at the Trail Blazers, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. And as we reach the midway point, Kenny, still a lot of games left on the schedule. How do players cope with the wear and tear their bodies go through?
Well, a lot of times when you're mentally or physically tired, you could sit there and all of a sudden,
it's a lovely night here in Chicago as we see an aerial view of Grant Park, Millennium Park, and gorgeous downtown Chicago. Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for joining us here on 2K Sports for the NBA. We're all dressed up and ready to go. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. We've got an Eastern Conference battle ready to get rolling, and the Chicago crowd wants some love from their Bulls.
All right, ready to go?
This, of course, the first opportunity to play Portland this season. A year ago, they each gained a victory at home, but couldn't secure a win on the road. The starters for the Portland Trail Blazers. Lillard at the point with C.J. McCollum playing the 2. Myers Leonard is out there with the Minu, and it's Davis at 7.
Yeah, poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at the basket from three-point range.
Lillard against Gibson. Stolen by Rose. Jumps up, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
The guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket, and don't let them set up the defense.
The fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Definitely save the layup with that foul, and he'll make him earn them from the line, and that's what you want to see.
Chicago making some changes. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Gasol. Portis comes in for Taj Gibson. And Mirotic set in for McDermott. And a switch here also for Portland. Plumlee's checked in. Lillard, the pass to McCollum. Back to Lillard. With 1 on the clock, and he gets it back. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Bulls lead by 4. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And now a chance to hear from point guard Damian Lillard as he explains his stoic demeanor on the floor.
I was taught to, never let anybody see how you feel. I kind of just embraced it, for my entire life. Just, you wouldn't know if something was going on in my life or not because As long as I'm taking care of business.
I would say, Clark, we probably shouldn't expect to see Lillard starring in any reality shows about his personal life.
I think that would be accurate. I mean, Lillard is a young man who is all about taking care of his business and doing what he needs to be doing. I mean, his reality is trying to live up to the expectations for him in Portland.
And we're getting back to the action in our New Year's Eve crowd quiz. Looking at what we've seen from the Bulls, what do you guys think?
I tell you what, defensively, they have been in tune with one another as intense as I've seen.
Yeah, nice job helping out on the rotations and drive, doing really good work at the defensive end.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the court right now for the Trailblazers, we've got Damian Lillard. Franquist is out there with Davis. Then it's Allen Crabbe. And it's Plumlee in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
17 seconds left in the first half. Lillard attacking. Lets a floater go.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
And that does it for the first half of play. Bulls out front. They're up by 9. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hi again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Welcome to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Chicago. At the end of the period, they held a 4-point lead. They showed their superiority in the second quarter and got well out in front, taking a 9-point lead into the locker room at the half. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Bulls?
Well, the shots were dropping ball. I mean, they was dropping out of everywhere, dropping out the ceiling, dropping out the popcorn guy, man's hand, whatever. It didn't matter what the defense was. They found a way to get a good look almost every time. You just got to be patient, take as long as they need to keep finding those high percentage shots.
And Kenny, what did you see from Portland?
The lack of assists concerned me. If you don't share the basketball, you will not succeed. The coaches have to demand it of their players. The players have to demand it of each other. The only way they're going to come back in this game is as a team.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game.
The second half just about to get going here. Kind of like what Derrick Rose has done in this game.
And what he gives his team, guys, is an edge. He just lights up an arena when he gets it going, and in that first half, the young fella had it going.
Not just an edge, though, Greg. I think he gives them a confidence and a swagger they wouldn't otherwise have. And he's a special player to have around, no doubt about that.
Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's McDermott in at the 3 slot. And that's the good for Fred Hoiberg as we begin the second half. 4 on the shot clock. From inside, and the shot is good. McCollum's got the first bucket of the third here for the Trailblazers.
Nice move and finish. I think the halftime break really gave him a second one.
Rose, good.
And I love the tenacity, guys. He simply can will his way into games at times and exert his presence.
Now, here's Lillard. Aminu misses. Three-pointer, Butler, an absolute bomb from three-point range. Butler's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. The dish to McCollum. Davis kicks to Lillard. Releases. And then this is everything. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Bulls lead by 12. From the United Center in Chicago. Back in a moment. Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. Last outing for Chicago, they won that game against the Suns.
No question as to which team gave the better effort tonight. A dominant performance and an outstanding win for the Bulls.
This was a very efficient offense tonight.
They knocked down their shots. I mean, a little luck didn't hurt either. A lot of their 50-50 shots went in the basket.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Derrick Rose. Every time there was a big possession or a big play, he was a major contributor. Just a great all-around game.
On the floor for Portland, we've got Plumlee. Henderson out there with C.J. McCollum. Then there's Al-Farouq Aminu, and it's Leonard in at the 4. It's hauled in by Noah. Here's Mirotic. No good on the triple. And out of bounds is Chicago gains possession.
You know, that's hard to explain that play. I mean, I guess he thought he had more room than he did.
Here's Brooks. Takes the 12-footer and hits.
And just a terrific job of taking care of business in front of the home fans.
And, Greg, those fans had a hand in the win. I mean, they gave this team a big lift throughout the game. I thought there was great energy in the building.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. They poured it on tonight, Clark. A dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
I don't think they have anything.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose. He's not always known to make the big headlines or get a lot of media attention, but he does make the big plays, and he made them throughout this one.
Just a sensational performance on a lot of levels, Ernie. Too many levels to talk about. Man, in some game, he's in the background. He doesn't get the chance to be the star of the show. But not tonight. He's the star tonight. Put him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for this evening. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson saying good night. And we'll see you again soon, but not soon enough.
the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, NBA fans. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, and seated beside me, Kenny the Jet Smith, and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Chicago Bulls up against the San Antonio Spurs. Well, for San Antonio, they've been on a tremendous run, and we're deep enough into the season now to know that it's no mirage. These guys definitely for real. Can we talk about Kawhi Leonard, guys?
Sure.
He's become one of only very few players ever to win a Defensive Player of the Year and a Finals MVP. And he just keeps on getting better, Kenny.
His ability to guard multiple positions, his length.
Sounds go off when I enter the building.
Welcome, everyone, to the NBA on 2K Sports. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, joined by my partners, Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg. Western Conference battles, always fun. This time, it's the San Antonio Spurs intent on protecting home court and going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season. Home court advantage played a part in last year's season series. Each team took their home game in a 1-1 split.
Yeah, and going back to last year, this series was an even split.
Yeah, guys, they feel like they're the better team. The standings would agree with that. I look for them to assert that with their play tonight.
We got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. So for Chicago right now, Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5, and it's McDermott in at the 3 spot. Now here's Gibson after the miss from Tim Duncan. There's Rose with the 3. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Rose has got himself on the board with 3 there.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
And we reached the end of the first quarter. Bulls lead by 6. Stay with us as we get set. To bring you the second. And the Angels won. Tim Duncan, just a remarkable career. His teammate Tony Parker talked about playing alongside truly one of the all-time great players. It's both unbelievable and amazing, you'd have to agree, talking about Tim Duncan and how he great continues to stay near the top of his game.
You know, Kevin, they say nobody has ever defeated Father Time. But, you know, there have been a couple of bigs that you'd have to see are the exceptions. Kareem being one, and then obviously now what Tim Duncan has been able to do over the course of his career. Just unbelievable.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And taking a look at Chicago's performance here, guys, what have they been doing or not doing?
I just don't know that you're going to see a better quarter defensively than what we saw in the first.
Really a big part of why they're on top here. The defense has been on point.
So the Bulls 5 right now. Derrick Rose is out there with Etwan Moore. Then there's Noah. Then there's Nikola Mirotic.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists. Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And, Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
You know what? The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Bulls out front. They lead by 13. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Coach, you're going to have to climb a bit of a hill here in the second half. What are you telling your guys they need to do to turn this thing around?
I think we just moved the ball a little bit. We were just on the dribble a little bit too much, and there's got a lot of pressure out there, so the ball's got to move.
Coach, thanks for the time. Gentlemen, back to you at the table.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be taking a look back at the first half of basketball. Chicago holding the upper hand after the first two quarters. They have a 13-point lead. And we'll start with the big fella. Shaq, what'd you see from them out there?
Well, Ernie, Kenny, the offense was running really well. And their shooting percentage was outstanding, and it wasn't just luck. It's because the offense never allowed the opposing defenders to get comfortable.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about the Spurs?
Well, my question is, who are their playmakers? We saw too much dribbling, too little ball movement, too few assists. Well, it's not rocket science. You don't have to have a degree in any kind of science. The best teams always have and always will be unselfish.
And that's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first two quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. You gotta like what Derrick Rose has done in this game.
And even though the defensive pressure and attention was squarely on him in that first half, yet he's still able to be the most effective player on the floor.
But for him, Greg, it's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, we don't expect anything less, and I'd bet he has even more in store for us during the stretch run.
The always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Aldridge out there with Kawhi Leonard. And it's Duncan in at the center. That's the San Antonio 5. Rose gets a wide open look. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Gasol's got his third assist on the night. Looking at the last game for San Antonio, it was a win against the Nuggets in Denver.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the stars that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Guys, simply a complete team performance, and road wins where everybody contributes really can galvanize a team and bring it together.
And out of bounds is Chicago gains possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Chicago leading by 16. And Moore kicks to Butler. For three. And that one's good. Butler's got 6.
Another bucket added to the lead. They've been the better team in every facet.
And in my opinion, you get extra bonus points, extra eye of the beholder points when you do it the way they're doing it on the road. That's special.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Bulls lead by 19. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. Here's Brooks.
And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Bulls.
You know, it's tough to put your finger on the deciding factor in this one, but I'd say that the shooting accuracy made the difference.
Shot quality and better overall shooting.
And during the long NBA season, each contest important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Derrick Rose. He was everywhere defensively, offensively. The effort we saw from him tonight, I think, was the difference.
Taking a look at the Bulls. Mirotic out there with Portis. Then it's Brooks. Then there's Etuan Moore. And it's Noah in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's Mirotic. Sinks the three-pointer.
Terrific run to seal the deal.
Yeah, and now let's just keep an eye on how much longer they keep the foot on the accelerator.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And that about wraps it up. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. And now to our good friend Ernie Johnson, who is standing by in the studio.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose. He was the steady and reliable hand throughout the game tonight, stepping into more of a leadership role in this performance tonight.
His accuracy from the field was pretty eye-catching. I mean, if he was shooting the ball, it was going in. You rarely see a performance like this with this crazy high shooting percentage. Wow.
And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Have a good evening.
the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, and it is my pleasure to be with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Chicago Bulls against the Sacramento Kings. And guys, for the Kings, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. And let's talk for a moment about Derrick Rose. He's missed so much time the past several seasons with injuries. Kenny, is it too much to expect him to return to his former level, his MVP level?
Well, maybe not the MVP level, but he still can be a serviceable all-star, meaning he might not be able to dominate for 82 games, but he could do it for 40. And then he could do it for playoff time. So I do think the knee surgeries took a little toll on him.
One of the great sights and places of the Windy City on a crisp evening in Chicago, Navy Pier. We're broadcasting from Chicago as the Bulls get ready to take the hardwood here at the United Center. And here it comes, the NBA on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. And of course, Marco Bellinelli. Team moving on here without him.
Kevin, I thought he was really an important player for them, undervalued and not given the credit he deserved. That's not to say the trade was a mistake, but I think they'll miss him more than you might expect.
You know, chemistry-wise, I agree with you, Clark, because he was a glue guy. You know, he's a guy that kind of held things together for them in a few areas, and so not having him around might take some getting used to.
Let's take a look at our starters for Sacramento. Allison is out there. Jody Meeks. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins. Then there's Rudy Gay, and it's AC in at the 4 shot.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yeah, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
And the shot is good.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
1 second left. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Bulls lead by 7. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment. And the first quarter is in the books. Second. About ready to get underway. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Bulls?
Not much room to operate offensively. The defense has been stifling through the first.
Greg, they haven't given up a lot of easy chances at all.
Portis is out there at Cohen. Then there's Mirotic. And it's Rose. And it's Moore in at the shooting guard. That's the Bulls 5 as we get into the second quarter. Just 5 on the clock. The drive by Cousins and misses it off the right side of the rim. Sacramento on defense. 7-point differential. They're moving on after the tough loss they took with the hands of the Nuggets.
And they had to be sensational defensively on that night to compensate for the fact that they just couldn't find a rhythm offensively.
Well, I don't think they're really built to play those kind of grinded out low-scoring games. It just doesn't seem to be in their DNA to me.
Here's Cousins following the score by Derrick Rose.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
There's 10 seconds left here in the second. The feed to McDermott. Here's Gasol. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead.
And just a little bit ragged defensively there, Clark.
And we finished one half of basketball. Bulls out front, up 11. And we've got more NBA action on 2.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Chicago was looking great right away. They had the pieces in place for a nice stretch to open it up and went on a 7-0 run to start. They were able to string. And that'll do it for now as we send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the second half.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Kind of like what Derrick Rose has done in this game.
And even though the defensive pressure pressure and attention was squarely on him in that first half, yet he's still able to be the most effective player on the floor.
But for him, Greg, it's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, we don't expect anything less, and I bet he has even more in store for us during the stretch run.
We've got a moment. Let's set the floor.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll be watching the Utah Jazz playing against the Chicago Bulls. Looking at the Bulls, over the first half of the season, we've gotten a good sense of what this team is capable of. When they're on, which they have been consistently, they are an excellent unit. And guys, still some time left till tip-off. Let's talk scoring. Kenny, how did you look to establish yourself at that end of the floor, and when did you know you were in for a big night?
Well, for me, it was just about getting the basketball in the right areas of the floor, either off the dribble or off the pass. So if I
It's the home of the Jazz here in Utah as 2K Sports brings you today's action. Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, and the Energy Solutions Arena. Well, before you look ahead to your busy week, sit down. Relax, pull up a chair as we bring you another NBA broadcast. And thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony and Doris Burke reporting from the sidelines. The Jazz make a quick stop here at home before heading back out on the road. This game's going to be a challenge for them. Facing one of the top-tier teams in the league, they'll have to be at their best to steal a win here.
And I think for the Jazz, their season has been exactly the kind of misadventure their fans were afraid it might be.
Yeah, it's been ugly. I mean, we knew things were going to have to fall into perfect place for them to contend, but nothing did.
Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. And it's McDermott over the ring. And slam dunk by Butler.
Crisp pass into the paint.
There's 14 seconds left to play here in the first. Nato off with the layup. Rose can't get it to go. And so the first quarter's in the books. It's the Bulls up by 5. After this break, we'll be back with the start of the second quarter on 2K Sports. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Bulls?
They come out the gates here strong and put together just a solid. First quarter.
A ton of good looks for him, Greg, on offense, and it's quality shots they're getting.
The forwards are Hayward and Favors. Alec Burks is out there with Shelton Mack, and it's Gobert in at the center filling out the middle. That's the group for Utah getting going here in the second.
Nice job there to shake free of the defense and then drain the J.
Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
Shot clock at 6. On its way from Hayward for 2. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off his shot. 24-second violation. A different look for Utah. Jeff Withey, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Trevor Booker comes in for Derek Favors. And Trey Burke subbed in for Shelton Mack. And the Bulls making a change here as well. Butler's checked in. Now here's Burke, defended by Butler. Hayward goes in. There's the dish to Burke. And it would have
the 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome, everybody. Excited to have you in the house with us on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. It is the NBA playoffs. We've been waiting a long time for this.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Yes. And on tap tonight, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Chicago Bulls in their house, United Center. And guys, for the Bulls, after finishing the season with the second-best record in the West, they enter this series as the heavy favorites, looking to make a statement here in Game 1. And here we are, first round of the playoffs. Shaq, what do you think is the biggest difference between regular season and postseason ball?
Ernie, that's the easiest question you've ever asked me in your life. More energy, more from your team.
To the great fans here tonight, to the first-class organization, and to an all-star group of teammates, you are the NBA most valuable player. Congratulations.
Capacity crowd here at the United Center. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 1. 2K Sports presents the playoffs of the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline reporter tonight is Doris Burke. A look at Chicago. Because they're the second seed, they'll have home court advantage through the next 2 rounds.
You know, single game is major crazy. It gives a tremendous advantage, I think, to the top seed. And at the same time, it's kind of like the college situation, the college tournament.
Well, a home team, you got to feel like you're home an advantage, but I still think anytime you have a single elimination, it's sort of an anything-can-happen situation. And one thing's for sure, it's an exciting and nerve-wracking format.
And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Rubio and Levine teaming up in the backcourt. Towns is out there with Garnett. And it's Wiggins in at the 3, the small forward.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
We've got 28 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today.
Timberwolves on offense. 6-point game. And 2 shots coming up at the line as it gets fouled on the shot. Minnesota shooting the first free throw for the night right here. First one falls for it. Chicago making some changes. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for the Salt. Gibson comes in for McDermott. And Tejuan Moore checking in for Bob. Minnesota also with the sub. Chang, he's checked in for Kevin Garnett. Nice shot by Brooks.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's key to this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
And Rubio kicks to Towns. Stolen by Noah. That will count. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Bulls out front, up 8. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. We welcome you back to our presentation of Game 1. And guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
I just don't know that you're going to see a better quarter defensively than what we saw in the first.
Really a big part of why they're on top here. The defense has been on point.
Butler and McDermott filling out the perimeter. Portis is out there with Noah, and it's Moore in at the 1 spot. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
Those are chances. Almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D, just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Pau Gasol is checked in for Noah. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Carroll's checked in. Here's Rubio. Carroll with a screen for Rubio. Jimmy Butler with the rebound.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishing.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
And now Moore pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And finished off by McDermott.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came upright with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket. And don't let them set up the defense.
Fires from deep, and there's Mirotic on the assist by Noah.
And the lead continues to increase. They are just playing flawless basketball at both ends.
Greg, I can't identify an area where this team has underperformed. I mean, they've been 5-star in every category.
And so that's the end of the first half. Bulls lead by 15. Time now for the halftime break with the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. The NBA playoff energy is in the air, and we're halfway through looking at the Bulls. Boy, have they ever started this series off on the right foot. They've thrown down the gauntlet here in Game 1 with their intensity and effectiveness on both ends of the floor. Now, they've got a little bit of an intimidation. And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game.
Welcome back to the NBA playoffs as we get ready to continue with this round one matchup. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for Minnesota, the athletic duo of Levine and Wiggins on the perimeter. Towns is out there with Garnett, and it's Rubio in at the point guard position.
Off and running right off the bat here to start the second half.
And the Bulls with possession. Brooks kicks to McDermott. Back to Brooks. Soft touch off the glass.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Round 2 action of the
on. 2K Sports presents the playoffs of the NBA. On with Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harden. We take a look at the Bulls. The good news is they'll enjoy home court advantage for this, the deciding game.
And this is the payoff for the work you put in during the regular season. Getting to play this deciding game in your own building. These fans, I'm telling you, are ready to carry.
Oh, man, and how fortunate are we to be a part of something like this? And come on, this is playoff drama at its highest level. When these two teams were battling, we just felt all along like this series was destined to go the distance.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor. Courtesy of Bootley. On the court for San Antonio. Defensive-minded Green in there with the wings. Duncan is out there with Marcus Aldridge. And it's Mills in at the one spot. Aldridge. That one off the back iron and out. From deep three-point. Oh, he hits the buzzer beater.
What a three at the horn as they end the quarter.
Couldn't agree more. That'll give them a nice little lift, I think, going.
And that does it for the first quarter. Bulls lead by 9. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment. And LaMarcus Aldridge, the franchise player on this team, without question. He talked about the responsibility that comes with that role. Greg, does that acceptance come with putting a whole lot more pressure on yourself? And if so, what does that do to LaMarcus Aldridge's game?
And, you know, Kevin, that's what's going to be so interesting to find out. Some players, you know, they really relish in that situation. They rise to that occasion. Others, I don't want to say they wilt under the pressure, but they're just not comfortable in that environment. And in the NBA, you get to do it on TV and in front of thousands in person.